The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists, Dan Eve, the Crypto Raptor.
Howdy there, partners.
Josh Shigala from Voltoro. Still muted.
To the moon, mofo.
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue 1. Issue 1. Jack Dorsey and Jay Z invest 500 Bitcoin to make Bitcoin the internet's currency. They're funding a development fund in Africa and India. It'll be called B Trust, set up as a blind, irrevocable trust, and the duo of Dorsey and Jay Z won't be giving any input to the program. B Trust, a good thing for Bitcoin? Dan Eve.
When I first read it, it kind of sounded a bit like the B Foundation of the past, or foundations of the past. But I think incentivizing developers is a really good idea, and with big names behind it, it's going to attract a lot more people into the space that may not have even heard of Bitcoin before. Jay Z got involved, and now you've got a load of rapping Bitcoiners, or even more rapping Bitcoiners, obviously. So I think it's good. Any kind of publicity is good, and especially incentivizing open source developers. And Jack's been hot with open source, vocal about it for quite a while now. And it's good to see him putting his Bitcoin where his mouth is with Jay Z. And that's a lot of money to be funding developers, a lot of development. So hopefully we can see some really ninja stuff come out of it.
I agree with Dan here. It does remind me of what was it called? The Bitcoin Foundation. And then they had a second one. It was called the B something. What was it, Dan?
B Foundation.
B Foundation. Yes, the B Foundation. What's different about this one is that Jay Z and Jack Dorsey are incredibly rich, and they put their money where their mouth is. I think that makes a big difference. I think the B Foundation planned on getting donations. I think the Bitcoin Foundation originally had tons of donations, a world-changing amount of donations, which they wasted on airlines and a conference in like 2014. Once again, if they just held some of that Bitcoin, we'd have an incredible Bitcoin Foundation out there defending us and advocating for developers. But we don't. We just have Brock Pierce's resume, which does seem to work for him. Josh Shigala, your thoughts about the new Bitcoin Foundation, B Foundation, B Trust? It has trust in the title. It must be good.
Yeah, I mean, God, I can't remember how much I paid to be a member of the Bitcoin Foundation for life. I think it was like 50 Bitcoin or something stupid. But back in the days. But yeah, I don't know. I love the fact that they are putting money for development. I think it's really, really, really good, really important, especially in continents like Africa. I think they could definitely use it. I'm just hoping some of it goes to Lightning Network work instead of main chain, because there's so much already on main chain. I would love to see stuff on Lightning. Moving forward, the chat's going on about Giacomo. He's done a lot of work with Lightning, especially the RGB stuff. Would be really cool to see some of this sort of smart contracty stuff coming out as well on Bitcoin. There's some nice projects out and about. So yeah, let's get it going.
Exit question: why was it Jay Z and Jack Dorsey, a rapper and a man from another era, a startup guy? Why wasn't it one of these Bitcoin rich people that started the B Trust? Dan Eve.
Dan?
Oh no. Damn, there you go. Unmute myself. I was going to say that true Bitcoiner owner knows to hodl, but Jack is clearly a true Bitcoiner, and I think if I can imagine that Jay Z probably has been for a while, but he's kept on the D-Lo and he's been a bit subtle, and now's like the time to come out and be like, yeah, it's 50K, fuck it. So I think at the end of the day, it's a cool partnership. it doesn't matter who puts the money in. To me, it's kind of the fact that foundation's now there and it's got a huge budget. I think that's the cool thing. It'd be great if people can pump their own Bitcoin into it, especially some of the big ballers on Twitter and stuff. But 500 Bitcoin, that's enough to get started with, right?
Josh Shigala.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of early Bitcoiners have put money into development. They have done lots of projects, lots and lots. I just, I know for me, it's sad that someone like Roger Ver jumped ship and went to his own chain and stuff, because, he used to do a lot of stuff. There was also a bunch of, we had the Pineapple Trust go out there and just say, here's a bunch of money. I think there's a lot of very, very generous people in the space. A lot. So I don't see that it's not happening.
I want to argue against Josh there. I want to say that the Bitcoiners didn't put up the money because they're greedy and they don't want to help people. If you look at this B Trust project, especially choosing Africa and India, it doesn't sound like Jack Dorsey or Jay Z are funneling it to their buddies. They're not like, I have a startup where we can send some of this money and I have some programmers standing by. It sounds like an genuine altruistic good thing. And I just said that Ayn Rand hate word, the crowds are up in roars. There's like, there's no altruism. They want something. But this does seem like, especially at this time, the price is up, especially donating it in Bitcoin as a foundation, as a trust. They're probably not going to sell all their Bitcoin just to go on some airplanes like the Bitcoin Foundation did. So I think this is a huge good thing for Bitcoin. It's good to have powerful friends like Jay Z and Jack Dorsey, but I do kind of think it's a disappointment that no normal Bitcoiner stood up, no group of companies stood up and put this together. Maybe they did, but only with enough money to let it last a year, only with enough money to let it last 6 months, only to get the press releases. Whereas this thing seems like a massive endowment that should go on, hopefully for 5 years or 10 years or forever. But watch me be proven wrong when they loot the treasury. And
I mean, it could also be a huge money laundering deal. Not a laundering, but just to get your money out and then pay your mates, take shares in the companies that get founded, find talent early. I mean, there's, you've got to think a little bit like that.
There's got to be a way that they're making money on it. I agree. Yeah. We just don't know yet. So
there's like the tax break from charitable donation. But I don't know. With Tom, I genuinely think it's a really altruistic thing, and it seems like maybe I think didn't someone point out
you to say.
It is, yeah. Maybe that's what they want you to think, but I don't know. Didn't someone point out the fact that Jack looks like the guy from is it like Game of Thrones as well? Resembles him? Is it him?
He's definitely growing a long beard. Pop quiz. What's the best Jay Z album? You guys have any picks?
Never heard of him.
Dan Eve?
Black Album.
Black Album. I'm going to go with Gray Album, which is the Black Album mixed with the Beatles' White Album by Danger Mouse. And that's actually really how I got introduced to Jay Z. And it's great. And again, that album exists because Jay Z released like an a cappella version of the Black Album, and he released an instrument track of the Black Album. He made these parts available for DJ Mouse to do, DJ Danger Mouse to do what he did. So get the Gray Album if you haven't heard it yet.
On the quick music thing, another quick reminder that I don't know what time period it was ago, but Lily Allen rejected an offer for, I've forgotten it now. I'm sure it was like 8,000 Bitcoin. It was 8,000 Bitcoin, which would be like, I don't know, 48K. That's 384 million. Wow.
She would have been a billionaire. And all she had to do was play a show.
Yeah. Just literally one show.
She's too cool for that. She's too good to play in Second Life, guys.
Oh, was it Second Life as well?
Yeah, it was in Second Life.
Oh, what?
That would have been huge. They do all the concerts now in Fortnite. So that would have been also ahead of their time.
I did witness one of those actually. I went on YouTube and watched it, and it's pretty epic. If you like an artist who's on there, and I think there was one guy and he had he's like a rapper and he had this, I don't know, it was huge, like just massive, like one of those giant sort of characters, and you could just go around and fight people and stuff. It's just a really cool idea, the mixing of kind of music and gaming. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I've seen some pictures of like the graphics and the things, and it's much more than just like a band on a stage. Like there's a lot happening. But just like to ask everyone to go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Remember, it's free to like YouTube videos. We have 43 live viewers and only 18 likes. So let's try to get that number up. Don't worry, we're going to remind you again.
Drill it. Go on.
All right.
And subscribe as well. And subscribe.
Yeah. And subscribe.
Yeah. The price
Moving
goes up.
Issue.
Yeah.
Let's see. So many buttons in Zoom. Issue 2. Kenya turns to Bitcoin to fight the depreciating Kenyan shilling. The Central Bank of Nigeria has placed a ban on Bitcoin and crypto-related activities. Meanwhile, another African bank is turning to Bitcoin for answers. Amid rising depreciation rates of the shilling and outside forces from the International Monetary Fund, Kenya's central bank wants to switch its base currency to Bitcoin. Josh, we've been talking about this for years. We always said it was going to happen. I don't know that we knew it was going to happen in the same week as Tesla, Mastercard, Amazon, Bitcoin, all the things. But what do we think about the world's first central bank, at least announcing their intentions to switch to Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, it's well, as Elon said, in the end, it was inevitable, or something like that. But it starts off with crazy anarchists, nerds, and revolutionaries and technocrats. Then it moves on to, a little bit friends of those. Then it moves on to, well, now we have the institutions moving in, and the next up is central banks, of course. And it's a cascading thing. Once one does it, another will do it, because now they're doing it. We better get amongst it. So it's only a matter of time. It will definitely happen. Why wouldn't it? The thing that is worrying is that once a central bank does that, it can be a very, very quick downward spiral for that country's native currency, because they can print as much of their own currency and buy Bitcoin with it. And what will happen is that very quickly, Bitcoiners won't take that currency for that, because, I mean, imagine you've got the power to print your own money to buy something as rare as Bitcoin. What will happen is Bitcoin will highlight how absolutely ridiculous that money is. So, yeah, I mean, if I had a central bank, if I ran a central bank, I'd definitely be printing and buying Bitcoin with it. There's no stopping me on that one. But this is where the downward spiral happens very, very fast for homegrown fiat currencies, currencies that are on fiat decree. So, I think it'll also be one of those cascading things. The next country will take it, the next country, just like we're seeing with MicroStrategies, then Tesla, next will be probably Oracle, then maybe even Apple. It's these cascades where people have to jump on because everyone else is, otherwise they'll be left behind.
Well, this is my refrain for pretty much all the stories today, but it's happening too fast. It's happening too fast. Slow back down. Bitcoin, well, I guess we're ready for it, but I feel like Satoshi when he was talking to WikiLeaks and stuff back in the day, and he was like, no, we're not quite ready. EFF, WikiLeaks, we're just not quite ready. Give us a few more years. But like Josh said, it is a whole row of dominoes. Once this central bank does it and has success, we'll see other central banks in Africa and other developing nations switch over to this system. Then maybe a large, first world country or developed country, they changed that on me. But one of those will join in. And we've already seen it with MicroStrategies, the jealousy of Tesla, the curiosity of Twitter, the not curiosity of Uber, all of these things just lining up. And it's now not, are you a maniac like that idiot with the Mad Hatter hat and the background who believes in Bitcoin? Or are you like Jay Z and Jack Dorsey and MicroStrategies and all these big companies that believe in Bitcoin? And you start adding in the central banks. Yeah, it just, Bitcoin's on fire. We can't be stopped. It's out of control. Dan, Eve, your thoughts?
I think it sounded like the logical thing that Kenya would kind of move faster in the Bitcoin space because of the M-Pesa, which was like the money transmitted by mobile network. And actually it's quite surprising because even in 2017, like everyone was saying that, was like, yeah, Kenya's going to be one of the first. But I know that they've probably had quite a lot of geopolitical issues that have got in the way of like big kind of infrastructure changes. But any country that kind of looks like they're going to move towards Bitcoin is going to be they're going to be the Tesla of like the world, you know. As soon as one central bank goes, I was kind of hoping it was Malta because I'm Maltese and it was meant to be the blockchain island, and I'd love them to be like, oh, we're going to go my Bitcoin, it's the central bank, but he didn't. They haven't gone central bank yet. It's very good Maltese accent. No, but yeah, they didn't kind of go that way, but it seems like if Kenya could be the first one to get the chain going, then brilliant. Like, it seems logical that people are going to start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets.
Yeah, well, it's the ones that didn't Maltese get the Turks and the Greeks all living on one island? They're always fighting, so maybe they can get the fiat and the crypto and just sort of
mix it all together,
fix it all up.
It was frequently conquered. If you were on your way to an crusade, it was really nice to stop over in Malta. And then if you're on your way to maybe take some revenge for those crusades, also nice to stop in Malta. So.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying in the chat they don't think it's real, but I saw it on several articles with quotes from
years ago as well.
About this Kenya thing. So if it's
thing.
Not real, we just jump the gun and it's going to happen anyway. Otherwise, I mean, you got to provide more information than just saying like, it's not real. So we'd need more information. But exit question, first Kenya, then ... What country's central bank will show an interest in Bitcoin next? Josh Shigala.
Yeah, probably like Argentina or, one of these South American countries. Yeah, I probably could be even Venezuela because they've already been dabbling for a few years now in crypto. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they usually will just try to print their own money. The first to really truly just jump on Bitcoin as a reserve. The problem for central banks, the problem for governments going with Bitcoin is the exact problem I mentioned before. And they then don't have the ability to print their own money to build bridges, to print their own money to make schools. So they have to go to old school systems where they get actual talent to move to that country and bring jobs and bring things to build an economy, which is obviously the good way to go long term. But yeah, we'll see. I in the chat there, Rolando Tech said, Iran, it could definitely be that, in which case we might see some mainstream media calling it out, saying it's the currency for terrorists. But, since COVID, all terrorism has stopped, funnily enough, because mainstream media just, shifted attention. And we don't have that problem anymore. So,
Dan, Eve.
What was the question? Sorry, I was too busy looking at
what
the
country. What country?
Oh yeah, of course. So, well, I would have said so. I'd love it to be Malta because I can get a passport if I need to. Otherwise, I think one country. I think it might one that could surprise us is something like like Estonia, because they were Bitcoin wise when they hoarded the Bitcoin, not hoarded, but kept the Bitcoin for they hodled it for a while and then used it to clear. Did they use it to clear debt? Or I've got to be really careful now because of fake articles. God damn it! No, but I think any country that's sensible is sat there right now going, we've confiscated a load of Bitcoin. What do we do with it? Let's just hodl onto it just for a little bit. There's got to be someone there going, they're like, the whole board meetings, let's sell it. And someone's going, shouldn't we just hold it for just a tiny bit of time? And then eventually the whole boardroom's like watching like Coin Market Cap going, we didn't sell the Bitcoin, right? Yay, national debt free in like 1 year.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
Estonia or maybe Bulgaria, where they had some Bitcoin that were left over from a criminal trial. And at first it was a small amount of Bitcoin and a small amount of money, but then Bitcoin kept going up, and then soon they had a large amount of money. And there were even people saying that they'd lost the criminals' Bitcoin because if they found it, they'd have to give a cut to the EU. So there's a lot of good stuff like that coming out there. My pick is going outside of the box here. I wanted to go with Japan because I want it to be a large westernized country. But I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Ecuador. Ecuador already uses the US dollar. So what Josh is saying is not a problem for them. They already don't have the ability to print money. It's right there. It would be a sign of the declining power of the US dollar, but not quite going towards the Chinese yuan. So it would be a sideways move, slightly offending the US, slightly offending the Chinese, but pleasing the Ecuadorians and the Bitcoin.
Just hypothetically, though, how would that easing into a central bank, say Ecuador, easing into Bitcoin work? Because everyone's currently sat with dollars. So would they kind of how would they kind of consolidate what the net worth is and slowly ease into it?
It's probably very similar to what you do if you wanted to switch to gold or silver, or at least in the United States, say switching away from gold and silver. If you imagine that process in reverse, previously you could take $20 to the bank and get silver or get gold, like it was actually backed. So if they said, well, instead of having the dollar, we're going to have some kind of Bitcoin backed currency or some kind of thing, you would just go and you would trade in your dollars for this Bitcoin backed currency. And then you would hope that they really have it in a vault and all that kind of stuff. They could do proof of keys and all kinds of things, but you just don't want that evil government employee to be stealing the Bitcoin because it's so much easier than emptying out Fort Knox, which for all we know could be completely empty because it's never been audited during our lifetime.
This is exactly what I've been saying for years. It's very, very difficult for governments to hold Bitcoin purely because it's just such a massive organization, and it's so very easy to steal. So there's this threshold, right? You have it too simple, the security, and it's easy to steal. You have it too complex, and it's very, very easy to screw it up and lose access to the tokens because you made it too complex. No one actually knows how to put it all together anymore. So it's a big issue. So it's interesting. And to your question, Raptorific, I think it's going to be guaranteed that it's easing because there's no way you can pile billions and billions of dollars into Bitcoin just like that. You have to slowly go in. I mean, I'm pretty sure that MicroStrategies and even Tesla have been buying over months to then finally say we've bought, because you don't want to say we've bought
before you filled your bags.
Before you filled your bags, so it takes a long time to do that. But yeah, the security issues are of most concern, I think, for governments. It's very, very difficult to secure Bitcoin in that middle ground where it's accessible by the right people at the right time.
I think, Josh, you're getting too far ahead of us here, because then we're on to the first country to hold Bitcoin and the first country to be hacked for their Bitcoin. And will it be an inside job? I think that's what we're saying already, is that they're already auditioning and hiring the people that will one day steal from them. Yeah. So, and again, it'll be blamed on Bitcoin. It'll be Bitcoin's fault. We'll bankrupt some little small country. I was going to say bad things, but no, we'll bankrupt some unfortunate country that just wanted to join the revolution. Just wanted to be a part of it. And there's still a chance for you to be a part of the revolution. Give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe. We're about 60% of the people watching subscribe. So you should join them. You should subscribe to the World Crypto Network.
All the crazy cool kids are doing it.
That's right. Did you know the World Crypto Network has its own audio podcast, and I've been manually updating it every day this week? That's right. Audio files on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts at the World Crypto Network audio podcast. Also, check out shop.worldcryptonetwork.com, where you can get World Crypto Network, the mug, just like I have right here. Whoa. The Treasures Don't Float t-shirt, Bitcoin Not Bombs, Bitcoin Halvening Edition. Boy, that halvening sure did work out good for us. And World Crypto Network, the t-shirt at shop.worldcryptonetwork.com or in the links below on YouTube. Moving on to issue 3, Bitcoin is going mainstream. What the Tesla move means for crypto. Tesla made significant headlines by investing $1.5 billion of their $9 billion cash reserves into Bitcoin, and at the same time announcing that Tesla is planning to begin accepting Bitcoin for payments. Immediately after the announcement, the price of Bitcoin moved higher and has hit all-time highs, generating a frenzy of debate, discussion, and analysis. And Eve, Tesla's taking Bitcoin. What does this mean for Bitcoin?
Well, I think it's awesome that he's kind of come out, as it were, to put it on the balance sheets, and a lot of people are kind of just saying it's the skeptics, or who would normally be Bitcoin skeptics, are just saying, oh, he's just trying to do a Bitcoin pump like he is with Doge, and I think at the end of the day, Doge is funny. whether you hate it or not is another thing, but Elon's doing a lot for Bitcoin in terms of making it public and making it kind of, as much as you may love or hate the guy, make it acceptable for a huge multi-billion-dollar business to put it on their balance sheets and be open about it and see how the market reacts. That's the most important thing. So you can have a celebrity saying, oh, I own a bit of Bitcoin or whatever, but a huge, massively growing company that's huge technological relevance with Tesla and with SpaceX as well, and they're putting it on their balance sheets. That kind of makes sense. And although I think Overstock were I remember in 2017, Overstock were kind of the proud, the Bitcoin acceptors then, and they were looked down upon really badly. So to see the reception that Elon's got is wildly different to back then, even in just 2017, let alone before. So yeah, brilliant. Billionaires on board. That's it. Buy it, pump it. Boom.
I wonder how much of a Tesla I could get for the wind chimes that I bought at overstock.com.
Oh, what, with Bitcoin originally?
Oh, of course. Yeah, they accepted Bitcoin. It was a big deal. But I agree with Dan. It's great that Tesla has bought Bitcoin, but I like the second part of the announcement best. Whereas the MicroStrategies guy has done what all the other new Bitcoiners do. He's come to Bitcoin and he's told us what Bitcoin's about. The MicroStrategies guy is not interested in the Lightning Network. He's not interested in the developing world. He's here to make money. And for him, Bitcoin making money is a store of value, not a currency. And he came down from the heavens with his Wall Street money and told us that. What I like about the Tesla announcement is that Tesla comes to Bitcoin and says, hey, you're a currency, you're a store of value. We do both of those things. We have $9 billion in value that we store thanks to the stock going crazy. And we're going to store some of that value in Bitcoin. Also, we have these cars that we sell right here, and we're going to sell them in Bitcoin. So I like that they're adopting both parts of Bitcoin. It's not quite to the point where I can buy a Tesla with a Lightning Network yet, but I'm holding out hopes. That would be pretty reckless. And while it does seem easy that for a couple of Bitcoin, you could get a Tesla, those Bitcoin are much more rare now and a lot harder to come by than they used to. So not quite there yet, but maybe when it comes down to like a 0.2 or a 0.3, we'll all be driving Teslas. Josh Shigala, your thoughts on Elon Musk joining Bitcoin finally?
Oh, my man crush just got bigger. Elon is a visionary, and he very well analyzes things before he does them. Obviously, he has to make decisions every day. That's all he does. He doesn't do work. He has people working and then coming to him, and he needs to make a decision on things that get presented to him, and then he goes to the next meeting and makes more decisions. So the decision to analyze going to Bitcoin, and it would have been hard too because of all the FUD around the greenhouse gases and the proof of work thing. So he obviously sees, because his whole shtick is to get Earth to a point where we're not polluting it to all hell and greenhouse gases. He's right into that. So obviously, a brain like that realizes that Bitcoin isn't bad for the earth, because it's actually making people look for renewable energies that are cheaper and easier to deal with. I think there's some other technologies in the pipeline. I feel like he is. I think there's some other things that he's working on with blockchain technology. That I think there's some interesting projects coming out. One thing I've read up a lot about is there's this Energy Web project about distributed marketplaces for energy. There's there seems to be some Tesla feelers in there. There's projects that I don't believe this is the end of Elon in just Bitcoin as a store of value. Just like Thomas said, he's accepting it as a currency as well. And look, that's got to be the smartest thing ever, because that way you're buying at spot without any slippage. If you take it and receive it, you're buying at spot, and that's almost impossible for these big players. So yeah, I think it's really, really good. And I feel like, the whole thing about streaming money, one of the big use cases since the get-go that people have been talking about for ages and ages is electric car charging, but also cars that are paying other cars to bypass them in the fast lane, like little Satoshis. Hey, I'll pay you Satoshis if you just move to the side because it's autonomous. And this whole machine-to-machine economy opens up, of course, taxis, opening up. One of the ideas that's really interesting for me is, let's say we all crowdsource a Tesla, and that thing is an autonomous machine. It isn't owned, it's owned by itself because it was crowdsourced, and it's got its own wallet. It pays, it gets paid in with Lightning, and then it would, as it runs out of capacity because it's doing so much work, it would order itself a new Tesla off the production line, a daughter Tesla, and it would start driving around. And any upgrades that it would get, it would test on the daughter first in case it was getting hacked, because humans try to break machines. So there's lots of really cool ways you can use digital currencies, especially in the autonomous world and AI, which Elon's got deep fingers in those worlds. So this is definitely not the end of Elon in this space.
And we all know, if you're interested in more science fiction about the future of autonomous cars, you'll seek out the world's greatest sci-fi movie, Hot Tub Time Machine 2. That's right. Hot Tub Time Machine 2 features cars that have their own autonomy. The cars have made a deal with the United States. They're even allowed to kill a certain number of humans per year as part of the treaty. And it's just a fantastic science fiction-y movie that no one saw because it was Hot Tub Time Machine 2. But still, it's fun. I mean, it's kind of goofy. It's a goofy movie, but it's fun and it's light and it's full of sci-fi. So check it out.
Nice.
Exit question: if Elon Musk is so smart and so prescient, why did he tweet about Dogecoin? Dan Eve.
Because Dogecoin is there's always going to be someone out there who's like, Bitcoin is the only thing ever, and I don't like anything else. And I kind of like, Dogecoin for me is, I don't have any. I'm not shilling. In fact, that's a lie. I think I bought like 200 with some exchange, dust the other day, but that's irrelevant. I'm not shilling it because I want to get rich out of it. It's just a hilarious little thing. I think it's the bitter, not the bittersweet, but it's like the pseudoscience and the science punch in one. It's like, here is the science, here's Bitcoin, here's what's going to kick everything's ass, like in terms of solid money that we've not had before. We've seen, you know, I've been watching loads of World War like documentaries and stuff, and about inflation afterwards and the impact of that, and you know, around the Great Depression. And the fact is that money, like printed money, is not as good as solid money, and it does lead to war. I mean, it's like it's, you know, it's not just a cliche thing. If you print endless money, you can like print endless like tanks. That's the way it's been used before. I mean, I think now with COVID, it's been used to, if you print endless money, you can like pat endless pals on the back, you know, and all profit from each other's businesses and all that. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is solid as Fook, and Dogecoin. Dogecoin is kind of the comedy value. It's the, you know, it's the meme part of Bitcoin, but it's the like almost like the dark side, but the not so dark side because it's fun. So I'm kind of, I think it's cool. And even Gene Simmons? Oh no, I think he tweeted about Polkadot or something. No, was it Doge? No, it was Doge. No,
Gene Simmons went 6 figures into Doge, 7
it was Doge.
Yeah. Bitcoin. He said the other day he bought 100,000 Binance coin.
That's it, Binance.
Gene Simmons is a player these days.
Yeah.
He is out there playing this crypto market. But I think when it comes to this Elon and why he tweeted about Doge, I think it all has to do with those tweets he did a while ago about taking Dogecoin public, or taking Tesla public at 420. He seemed serious about it. Everyone laughed at him. The stock has like tripled, done a 5-time split, doubled again. So it would have been the greatest move of all time if he did actually have the financing to take them private at 420. He could have killed it. But I think he likes tweaking and messing with the SEC. It's kind of a unique legal case where I don't think the SEC has the power to do anything about him tweeting about Dogecoin. So I think he's kind of enjoying, you know, sticking his thumb and his finger out at them and his nose and everything. Also, I think that it's fun. I think Snoop Dogg's in because it's fun. Gene Simmons is in because it's fun. Yeah. Doge is an amazing icon. It's seen as easier than Bitcoin or nicer because you can have thousands of them for only $1 or whatever. But that's going to go down too. That won't be a thing. And it's also, again, just a way for people to learn about pumps and dumps because this seems to happen every time. Josh, why did Elon tweet about Dogecoin?
Yeah, exactly that. It's messing with it. Like he's I think he's a libertarian at heart. He moved to Texas. He's just over the overregulation and the ridiculousness, while the regulators are so hardcore on regulations, yet they'll let Wall Street just naked short sell till the cows come home and crush companies. I mean, he was really getting, in the early days of Tesla, he was really hating on the naked shorts that were being pumped onto Tesla. So, you know, he's just over it and he's like, well, you know, here I can talk about this coin. But folks, you know, the block reward on Doge is like 10,000 Doge coins every minute. You know, it has no value. And the problem is noobs come in and they're just like, oh, you know, but it is a thing. It's like a lotto. You sort of jump in and every so often it pumps and then it dumps again. And you've, you know, doubled your money or something or whatever. I don't know. It's, you know, the thing to remember is that from where I come from with the whole old thing is there isn't, old coin is a bit of a, it's a terrible word for it because there's different, just because it's a scarce digital asset. We have that now. It's not like we have these things called exe files. What? There's a .jpg? How dare they? What a scam file format. It's like, well, you know, there's different reasons for having different things. Doge is obviously some community coin, fun thing that you can throw around, and it's a bit of just a joke. The thing is, the world will eventually realize that. It just takes a lot of people to lose their shirt, really, while they learn that you shouldn't just invest in crap and actually research and not call a community coin an investment. So, you know, him tweeting about it, I think it's just fun for him. It's a fun thing. The thing is, people don't, you know, once you've burnt your hand, once you've touched that candle, you don't do it again. I think there are really interesting use cases for crypto out there outside of money. I think that money is the most interesting one. Of course, the store of value is as well. but there's plenty of things that store value. This one stores value, and it's also very easy to send and verify and divisible and all this good stuff. So that also makes it a great currency. And like Thomas said before, we should be focusing on the currency side, because I'm not sold 100% on the fact that you can just have something as a store of value. Eventually, you want to sell that. And you don't just want billionaires to be able to sell it. We need to be able to figure out how the common folk can also, and we have figured it out. The Lightning Network is very, very good at it. I think there's some other technologies like Schnorr and stuff that will make it even thinner and easier to load, more cost effective. So there's lots of good blockchain cryptos out there, and I'm just rambling now.
I think the one to worry about is Gene Simmons from KISS. $100,000 or more is a lot of money to have in Dogecoin. And while I'm sure he's very happy right now, he's up 40%, he's up 60%, whatever, that could all go away in Dogecoin. Like they used to say that to us all the time on Bitcoin, it could go to zero, all that kind of thing. Dogecoin's a very different animal. I'm not saying it could go to zero, but it was below 1 cent for a long time, and it could go back there.
The one thing that people forgot about was the fact that you'd have Doge markets. So everyone sat there, going, my crypto is not going to go lower than 1 sat because it's just 1 sat. And then in the background, there's all these people trading sub-sat coins using the Doge markets. And and so all the people that thought they were going to get rich sat on 1 Satoshi, no, they left it. That's it, lost it, gone. People, Doge markets. No.
Technically, Dogecoin is still merged mined on Litecoin. So if Litecoin went away, Dogecoin would go away. I'd feel a little bit better if it was somehow on Bitcoin. Maybe that's something they'll change to in the future if Litecoin has problems in the future. But for now, I don't know. People like it. It's a meme. Much wow. All right, just reminding everyone to like this episode. There's still a chance if you haven't liked it, you can get in on the liking party. It's free. Thumbs up down below. Moving on to issue 4. Issue 4, Bitcoin holds near record as Mastercard forges crypto path. Bitcoin hovered in record territory on Thursday, holding gains it had made earlier in the week after Mastercard said that it was following in Tesla's footsteps to both support the cryptocurrency and utilize it. Payments giant Mastercard said it was joining a regulatory large companies embracing Bitcoin, revealing in a company blog that it plans to start supporting select cryptocurrencies directly on its network later this year. Josh Shigala, your thoughts on Mastercard accepting Bitcoin?
I'm still perplexed at how they're navigating this. It's a very interesting space because Bitcoin actually eats their lunch, and maybe they already know it's going to eventually eat them. And so they might as well embrace it on the way up and somehow gain part of that network effect to say, why would you send these weird numbers when you can send a slightly smaller number, which is the credit card number? I don't know. It's like putting the cart in front of the horse, or a car pulling a horse or something. I don't know. It's just weird. I think it's fun to say as Bitcoiners, yes, yeah, Mastercard. That means moon. So I don't know. I just can't believe. One thing I can't believe is that the entire globe has gone on this amazing thing called the internet, and billions and billions and billions of dollars get transacted on this internet, and it all goes through 2 companies, Visa or Mastercard. Like that to me is so mind-boggling that even is a thing, but it is a thing, and so I just can't wait for that to just stop. fees.
I definitely agree with Josh here. It's exciting news. And as a Bitcoiner, you want to trumpet it. They said we could never handle as many transactions. Well, now we've got Mastercard with us. But I think that in a few weeks, we'll be looking at it as similar to the PayPal news, where PayPal probably holds Bitcoin. They won't accept them from you and they won't let you send them, but they probably hold them for you. So hopefully that's all going to work out fine in the end. I think Mastercard will make a similar system where you use a lot of Mastercard technologies to get to your Bitcoin. But I agree with Josh. This is the Trojan horse. They're bringing it inside. Maybe they can front run it for a while, make a little bit more money before they completely go out of business. And everyone realizes that all the middlemen, Mastercard, Visa, PayPal, all of these payments companies aren't necessary because you can just use Bitcoin, just use the Lightning Network. And as the Kenyan Central Bank said in their announcement that, we don't control it, we don't own it, but we also can't break it and we can't corrupt it in the same way that we've obviously corrupted and broken our own money. Dan, Eve, your thoughts on Mastercard?
Mine's probably slightly more down. And that's why did it take you so bloody long? What a dumbass thing. You're a payment processor. And like for 5-6 years, like international fees have been shitted on most of the time. Oh, can I say that? I did. Buy Bitcoin. And I know it's had its upsize, where unfortunately sending a transaction costs slightly more than a cup of coffee. And a bit more. I'm not going to inflate it, Fees got higher, whatever. The fees are too damn high. But at the end of the day, if you're a payment processor, then that's what you should be doing. And you look at the money that's going through like DTCC and like Swift and stuff, like they must be crapping themselves right now as to what they're going to do. Like, especially, it's becoming way more ubiquitous. You think of the infrastructure now that's in place, compared to the last 2017, 2018 peak, is huge, like insanely big. And now you've got the multi-billion-dollar companies coming out like Tesla. You've got countries maybe coming out and saying they're looking at it. But at the end of the day, even in 2017, when I was being made redundant, I was trying to rinse I was working for a bank and rinsing all the finance company, rinsing all the training. And so I was going to places where I was talking to people and they were like, oh, I'm in the research arm of such and such central bank. And they wouldn't say they're doing anything, but you could tell that there's an interest in there that's not just this is a basic, silly joke. It was this is a threat. And it was a threat like 4 years ago, and it was that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. They've been looking at it for a while, and they don't have dumb people like working in all positions. There's going to be people there going, Bitcoin is a threat. And someone in Mastercard was going, look, we can beat PayPal, we can beat everyone else, Visa, we can beat everyone if we just kind of think about how we tackle this and kind of, we don't want to piss off shareholders, but at the same time, we could make a lot of money. And that's what's happening, and it's what's going to happen, and it's a chain reaction. And let's get Malta be the first country. Come on.
Exit question. As Josh was saying, the predominant form of payment, both in person and online, is Visa and Mastercard. How long before Visa and Mastercard are not the number one source of payment? 5 years, 10 years, or never? Josh Shigala.
Yeah, I mean, online, I think it could be very quick. I think it could be in the next 5-6 years. But offline is where you'll have where they've really got a strong network effect, because they have the machines that connect with the cash register. They do all the taxes nicely and all the bookkeeping, and it's all just in the system. And the person that's running the shop doesn't want to. It's a system. It's working. I don't have time to swap it. I hardly ever get anyone in wanting to buy with Bitcoin. And this HODL meme really isn't helping that either. So I would like to see. I would like to see someone build like a business that basically allows people to re-HODL, maybe call it re-HODL, where once you spend, it just buys automatically Bitcoin back for you. I think there used to be a thing like that once, if memory serves me correct, but I would definitely use it. I want to use Bitcoin more for political reasons as well as just my own interest. But it would also, if you're a hodler, it would help the whole industry by allowing people to spend Bitcoin using the Lightning Network and buy back in that moment.
I think there was a system like that on CoinDesk or Coinbase back in the day, Josh, but I don't know if they still have it. And it was the kind of thing where when I was working at that company, we were trying to get people to spend their Bitcoins and buy stuff. We would always say that you should rebuy your Bitcoin, knowing that we didn't do it and other people didn't do it. No one's that organized, so it never works out right. But it can be very dangerous to spend that Bitcoin.
Well, sorry, just quickly before we move over to that, I get emails all the time saying, man, so stoked. I bought some gold and now the Bitcoin went up and now I've got the gold and the same amount of value in Bitcoin. Thanks so much. Like, so you can see it like that as well, rather than seeing it like, damn it, I bought this and now Bitcoin's worth and I could have bought, like, the thing is now they have that and the same value because it went up. And once it goes inevitably down, because somehow we all have amnesia in the bull markets, and we forget that actually Bitcoin has these god awful 3-year long, like they're way longer than the bull markets. The bear markets, they take a while, and during that time you've actually diversified into something.
Still, one of the saddest stories I heard was a friend of mine who bought gold at one Bitcoin equals 1 ounce. And he was happy for a while and then he wasn't happy because I don't know what can get now, 20 ounces, something like that.
But that's where, like, what we at Voltoria allow people to buy their Bitcoin back with the gold. They sell their gold for Bitcoin again. So it's important to be able to trade back and forth. But I'm not here to shield Voltoria.
Well, there is something to be said about hedging at the top, Josh. I don't know anyone smart enough to do that, but there must be someone out there that does. So Dan, Eve, 5 years. Oh, junk mail. 5 years, 10 years, or never. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, wait. What was the
to replace Mastercard? Bitcoin is the dominant form of payment.
I think it's going to be sooner, especially if we're accelerating at this rate. So the next halving is 2024, right? So if if the prophecies are true as foretold, then we're going to hit 200K with Plan B's prediction by the end of this year ish, or April to September, I think was the. So if you then extrapolate that out and do the next kind of logarithmic little triangle jigger-muffin or whatever they call it, or the professionals, then you come up with something massive that's even further down the line. But anyway, 2024 is going to be when, like, the price of Bitcoin and just the general transactions engulfs the entire a number of particles in the known universe, because it's going to have moved. No, it won't be that bad, but I think that there's definitely going to be a huge amount of volume going through Bitcoin, and things like second layer solutions are going to grow a lot more. I mean, there's huge amounts of work on Lightning. There's going to be a lot more institutions paying attention within the next 5 years, and so I can actually I can realistically see it I can see it surpassing both Mastercards and Visa in 5 years. Both of them 5 years time. So time print stamp this thing now.
I think 5 years seems about right. It's pretty fast, of course, but everything is moving too fast now in Bitcoin, so it doesn't matter what we think. I think what has to happen, and it sounded like a really hard thing 5 years ago, but on the other side of that, these companies have to want Bitcoin. They have to want to hold it. They have to want to accept it. They have to have that desire. So that's half of it. The other half is that the customers have to have Bitcoin. They have to know about it. They have to hold it. They have to want to spend it, either if they're going to rebuy their Bitcoin or if they're just going to take profits into goods and services. So both of those categories have to come up. And previously that seemed like an impossible task. I know people tried on the retail side. They were accepting Bitcoin. People tried on the normal person side, trying to convince their friends to use Bitcoin and buy it and use it and all this stuff. And neither of them worked because it was just such a difficult chicken and the egg problem. But now with all of this interest from Tesla and Mastercard and all these big names and Jay Z, I think that normal people are interested in Bitcoin. They're interested in buying it. And then if it goes up, maybe spending it. On the other side, the corporations and the companies have heard about Tesla and all these other companies. They've heard about smaller companies that held a little Bitcoin and now are very happy. And I think they want that to happen to them. So now that both businesses and normal people have the dream of Bitcoin in their heads, it's only a matter of time before MasterCard and Visa are no longer the dominant payment on the network. Just reminding everyone to keep liking the episode. If you haven't liked it yet, you only have to like it once. And it could be you that gets us over the next big round number full of likes. That could be you. Moving on to issue 5. Issue 5, Amazon is preparing to launch a digital currency project in Mexico. We only know about it because of job postings, but the job postings make it look like Amazon is working on a project where customers could convert their cash into digital currency, which they could then use to enjoy online services, including shopping for goods or products like Prime Video. We've talked a lot in the past about Netflix and the desire to not have a subscription fee, but instead to sell individual videos on Netflix, individual videos on Prime Video, especially to developing countries that can't afford a subscription fee, but have a dollar or a quarter or whatever to buy a video. Previously, that made no sense because of the difficulties keeping track of all that money. But now with Bitcoin and perhaps another copy of Bitcoin called Amazon Coins 2.0, Amazon is heading in the right direction towards digital payments with digital currency. Josh Shigala, will we see this project released? Will it only be in Mexico? Is Amazon going to go Bitcoin crazy next?
Yeah, and they should. I mean, it won't be Bitcoin. They'll do Amazon Coin, but I've been saying that forever. That Facebook will have a coin, Amazon will have a coin. I mean, we have this new invention called cryptocurrency. It's like, and there's all sorts of consensus mechanisms that they can try out. If proof of work ain't your shtick, if proof of authority is the thing for you, then whatever, you're gonna do it. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the best one at all. I don't personally like it, but they might. And who cares? Do it. Let's do it. Private money. Let the games begin. Compete. I'm a competition maximalist, folks.
Well, Amazon's a great company, and I spend certainly a lot of my money there. And I want to say it's so nice to use the real Amazon. For a long time, I used another website, and someone else would make my orders, and I'd pay in Bitcoin and all that kind of thing. You never really knew if you were going to get your stuff. A lot of the time was spent managing your order so that you get that sweet deal rather than just getting your stuff. I love Amazon. I've got a list of things. I can't believe that they actually deliver me everything on my list. I order the most random things from the most random categories, and they all arrive within a few days of each other, sometimes even together in the same box. Just yesterday, I ordered like detergent for the washing machine and dryer sheets, and it's like, it'll be here tomorrow. And I believe them, and it will. And it's just an incredible company. I enjoyed reading about them in the Everything Store, a book about Jeff Bezos. He has an incredible background, big Star Trek fan. So always a fan of people that are fans of Star Trek.
A fan of Star Trek is a fan of mine.
That's right. Like Senator Cory Booker. Yes. Big fan of Cory Booker.
Amazon should be one of the wonders of the world, really. I don't know how many of them are there, like 8 or 10 or something. But seeing this company that can do so much in logistics, it's really, I know that that some people on this show, they're not really, I mean, I'm a free market capitalist. I really enjoy free market capitalism. I think it has a lot more solutions than centralized governments. Some people would call me extreme for that. But if you look at something like like Amazon, it just delivers anything you want. Sure, it centralizes, it takes jobs from the little person, but the little person could also sell through Amazon. and have them as the logistics company when they couldn't do the logistics. I mean, you've always used, if you're a little person, a little mom and pop store, you've always used the postal service, which is an outsourced logistics service. You never drove the packets to the next town or across America or across the world to deliver it. And Amazon does that for you and takes a cut. I mean, it's amazing. There's definitely things I don't like about Amazon, but if I don't like them, I can stop using them if I want. And that's what I like about the free market. If I don't want something, if I don't like a company, I won't use them.
You might be able to, but you might find yourself addicted because Amazon's product is so good. One of the best things about Amazon in the Amazon book was the way that they design new products or new services. They write the press release first. So if you wanted to introduce the Kindle, you'd say, well, it has a month-long battery life and you can hold hundreds of books on it and it's very light and it fits in your pocket. And you start with those things and then you go backwards and you say, can we make a product like that? Can we make it lighter? Can we have a big enough battery? Can we hold enough books? Can we make it flip pages really fast? And they have to solve these problems because they have to live up to the press release that they've already written. And this press release also goes to their customer first strategy. They've gone harder than anyone else in customer first. If you complain about something, you want to return something, they'll just work with you and they'll try to get a good outcome. Whereas a lot of companies give up on you after a couple of tries. They're like, well, this customer is a jerk. Customer is a jerk first. And Amazon never does that. I don't know about how well they treat their warehouse workers and how they're gaining all the efficiencies that are going into this machine. I think Josh has a rosy picture, but in reality, the capitalist gears might be grinding up some peasants inside to get me my books, to get me my detergent. Of course, again, I'm part of this as a consumer. I'm going to the lowest store. I'm going to the lowest price and all those things, but I'm also getting incredible service. So it's complicated things, but just a marvelous thing, good or bad. It's so big. There's different aspects that are good, different aspects that are bad. Dan, Eve, we've been waiting. Your thoughts on Amazon accepting Bitcoin?
Well, I'd just like to say that as someone who's been taking this time, of COVID and the break and all the extra time we have to read up on the environment, I've been supporting the Amazon a lot. I've been sending lots of money to the Amazon and having things delivered all the time. I'd like to thank Jeff for supporting the Amazon, and anyone who's donating like me will be happy with the service. Look, at the end of the day, like you said, you can have anything, almost anything delivered in a box of other random stuff. You could even be like, what's the most random box of Amazon you could get delivered on one day? But it's an amazing service and people will use it. And if you think that there are, okay, so he's a trillionaire or was or whatever, but just if we set the marker at 1 trillion, there are 7 billion people on Earth. And if you thought about the fact that if you were tipping someone, how many people use Amazon and how many people tip and how often, if you're just, if you take it like that, then, giving $10 to Jeff, because he's provided such a good service, it kind of, I don't know, it gives the value that they deserve. Like, it's not just a service where it's a local shop. You can be like, oh, a local shop owner, they're not getting the cut, but then they've got the opportunity of being worldwide on Amazon, where only people that can hobgoblin down the street can actually get to it or whatever, because they're not open, they're not to the internet. So I think it opens up a lot of opportunities. It does shut them down because it means you've got to be efficient. But what's wrong with efficiency? What's wrong with competition? Why wouldn't you want the best product for the lowest price and the least resources? And in a green world, surely what we should be really gunning for is the most efficient process. And the people that make the most money usually have an efficient process. There's not many people that are really that evil that do really evil things and get loads of people's money via theft and fraud and all that. Irrelevant. Jeff Bezos is providing a good service.
Yeah, it's interesting that I remember seeing a piece where everyone was going on about how little Walmart was paying their staff, and that everyone was really like, yeah, they've got to be paid more, lift up the wage. And then this guy went to Walmart and was like, do you support the workers getting paid a higher minimum wage? And they were like, yeah, I do. I've been watching on the news and I'm really passionate about it. And they're like, oh, well, and then they'll pull out this thing and say, oh, well, we've got this, just give us a look at your bill here, because they're walking out with the shopping. We'll just add 10%. How much did you want them to get paid extra? Oh, we want, we will just add that onto your bill here so you can voluntarily pay that and we'll donate it. And they'll be, blah, 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 and they sort of quickly shuffle their carts off because they don't actually want to pay that extra. They just, go on about how they would like everyone to earn extra but not pay extra. Yeah.
It might also benefit more people if we paid more people more money, because they'd spend it and they'd have that positive effect on the economy. But let's move on to the exit question. Exit question. Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon.com, recently retired. He's now one of the world's most wealthy men, and he's got nothing to do. What will Jeff Bezos do next? Dan Eve.
I don't know. Hopefully something cool like pump Dogecoin. Oh, I didn't mean it. Chill. No, but I don't know. Like provide value in the world. I think Amazon's something that's provided value, and Bitcoin is something that's provided value. And if if someone else provides value, then I'll commend it. But I don't know. I think that there's the world of opportunity. Elon went from PayPal to SpaceX and Tesla, and is now hell bent on getting people to Mars. So hopefully Jeff is going to kind of get off his Amazon horse and be like, right, let's just do something for the good of people, or that he thinks, or is whatever, for the good of civilization, and crack on with it, and we'll just ride it and be happy.
Josh Segal.
Not ride Jeff. I don't want to ride Jeff and be happy, just to clarify, because someone already said.
He does look like he's very strong. He's got that bald head.
He's got that Russian, what's his name? What is the Russian leader?
Putin
riding the horseback, with his top off. Yeah, Jeff has got that look. Not that I'm looking. Someone suggested it.
Someone out there make that poster. Make the poster of Jeff Bezos.
I would love to see him behind Putin on the bear, like Putin in the front, Jeff in the back. Photoshop artists, get to work. Josh Segala, go ahead.
Jeff Bezos is a retard. Oh, it's retired. Okay, sorry, Borat joke there. So I don't know. Like I'm really interested to see what he does next, because these sorts of people, like Elon, like Jeff, they can't not work. They're workaholics. They're just workaholics, and they're very, very driven. So I think he'll do something else, and he'll get his teeth into it, and just I don't know. I think it'll be SpaceX. SpaceX Blue, whatever his version is. I think he'll sink his teeth into that a little bit more. I'm not sure. I'm really fascinated by the fact that he quit, because he was so Amazon. He is like Amazon. So I'm really, there's other people, other entrepreneurs like, obviously Elon, but Richard Branson. They just constantly start new businesses because they're ideas people. They're ideas people and entrepreneurs, and they want to see the idea actually, come to life. Whereas Jeff just went, my idea is sell everything online and start with books, and then we'll go from there. And that's the idea, and I'm not going to let go of that. And now he has let go of it. So I wonder if he'll come up with another idea and go with that for the next 25 years.
Prediction: Jeff Bezos will challenge Bill Gates to become the world's most philanthropic person. He'll create a program to feed every single human on Earth so that no one will ever go hungry again. No, I'm kidding. He's just going to be like Elon Musk. He's going to put all of his money into Blue Origin. He's going to go to space for like 5 people or 10 people that can go with him. And he's going to leave the rest of the Earth behind to rot because who cares? He took his money out of there anyway. He's exhausted the mine. The capitalist moves on. All right, that's about it. We're made it through the show. Still a chance to get that thumbs up in. You'd be one of the last ones to get that live thumbs up feeling.
Yeah,
Feels
it's a good
so
feeling.
good to push that like button.
Sends shivers.
Yeah, it brings in the additional guests. If you look
And
around,
you become more good looking too.
there are a lot of people in this chat room right now, and some of them are here because you push the like button. So that's what you can do.
I want to see, I want to see Jeff Bezos after Orlando Tech. I want to see Jeff Bezos on Joe Rogan drop DMT. I think that's what I want to see.
It's Joe Rogan. He's getting more and more acrobatic with his interviews, more and more substances. Josh Sigala, do you have a prediction or a story of the week? Go ahead.
No, but I have, with the entire craziness of altcoin season well upon us now, we integrated Ethereum into Vaultoro last week. So, and we're seeing a massive amounts of Ethereum coming in and buying gold. So what I'm actually seeing is that I feel like the bull run is heading into its last phase, because we're seeing a lot more people hedging into physical metals now, which is interesting. And this is the same feeling in 2017. Our clientele are quite good with macroeconomic concepts, I feel, because they just sort of, they're not just Lambo Moon all the way types. They're like, let's analyze the market at a macro level. And yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. No, I mean, I don't feel it is, but it's an interesting metric.
It's like that quote from Heist. You try to think of what someone smarter than you would do, and then you do that.
Yeah.
Dan Eve, prediction or story of the week? Go ahead.
So I think Tom, you have to rack up an magic 8 ball prediction, like Rolando Tex requested. Number one, and number two, epic. I think that it wouldn't be too far-fetched. So I think this is kind of a conservative estimate or guess or prediction. Bitcoin will hit 50K this week. Oh. Nice. You watch, it's going to be back down to like 25, and then there's going to be a death threat or something. No. I at the end of the day, it goes up, it goes down, but it will eventually go up further than it went down to when you bought it. That's what's going to happen. You might buy it and it goes to, this isn't financial advice, but just long term, it's outperformed everything. So,
Yeah, this isn't financial advice, but just buy Bitcoin. Just buy it now.
It's so obvious. But yes, Orlando's right. You've been a good audience. So you deserve to know the future. So we will ask the ball. We're in the middle of a major bull market. Everyone's really happy. All the people on Twitter and Clubhouse are just going crazy. But will the price of Bitcoin be higher this time next week? Right now, it's 47,777. That's a lot of sevens. So here we go. Big money, real lucky. Will it be higher this time next week? Outlook good. Outlook good. The ball has spoken. So we're looking good, at least for next week. I agree with Josh. You got to start hedging. You got to start watching this thing, but not until after next week, at least, according to the ball. There's still a chance for you to donate to our new laptop fundraiser right now with the on-chain QR code, or at Tallycoin in the link below with the Lightning Network.
Oh, someone polished that off.
We are 86% of the way towards our goal. We're probably going to have to go over because, MacBooks always cost more than they say. And I'm going to try to wait till they, like Josh was saying, the new MacBook with all the ports, everything come back to you MacBook.
M1X.
Let's strip out everything and then say it's new. And then let's bring everything back and say it's new.
You didn't get the one without the screen? I want the one without the screen. That's the one to have.
That's the Mac Mini.
Those new ones all have screens. But yes, you can donate now with the QR code on your screen. Give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below. But thanks to everyone for joining us. I think we're going to head towards the end of the show. Josh and Dan, anything else to say?
Join us on Twitter. It's J Shigala, JSCIGALA. And I ramble and rant on there. Come and join me, talk back at me, troll me, or laugh with me, whatever you want.
Welcome back, Dan Eve, the Crypto Raptor. Welcome back to the show. Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long
Yes.
time. Welcome back, man. Shit.
I was saying earlier that I was like, well, I'm gonna during the COVID wind down, I'm gonna unsubscribe to all the junk emails, and it's taken this long, literally this long. I've just pressed the last unsubscribe. I think I've unsubscribed to everything, but I think people have cheated and they still keep on sending me things. But we're all cool, we're all good. But that's it. The administration is over, and I'm back.
Nice.
All
I hope
right,
you didn't
and,
unsubscribe to the World Crypto Network, though.
Yes, subscribe to that. That's the one thing you need to, and get notifications on.
And Dan,
And I promise I won't fake.
Where can they get the rest of your raps and all your stuff? Let them know, Dan.
Cryptopoly at Cryptopoly, like Monopoly but with crypto, on Twitter or YouTube, or just search one of them. Yeah, thank you.
All right, very good. I think that's about it for this episode. Until next time, bye.